Here is day 2 of your mandala project. So remember, so far we have a square. We have folded it so that there are 8 sections total. And then within one of the little triangles, we've created our design. Our design goes across some. It has some that are free floating and some that start and end on the same sides. Now I'm going to show you a technique to trace this design into the rest of the 8 sections. So one thing I want to do to make tracing easier is I want to go over these lines with something a bit darker. It could be a marker, a Sharpie, you could just go over it with pen, but going over these lines to make them darker is going to make your next steps easier. I'm going to use a gray marker, because that's what I happen to have available to me. So I'm going to go over these lines real fast so that they are darker. All right, so now that they are darker, what we're going to do is we are actually going to use our windows to help us to trace this. So in a minute, I'm going to be moving my camera and showing you on the window exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm going to explain it here so it's closer first. We're going to use the window and the light to help us see through our paper so we can trace it. So what you want to do is take one of your edges that your template is touching, and you're going to fold it. So the side that you drew on is folded away. Okay, so I'm taking one of those folds and I'm folding my template so it is away from everything else. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I'll go up and put this against the window with my drawing facing outside. And if I look closely, I'll be able to see through the paper to see my design. So then I'm just going to use my paper and I'm going to trace over everything very carefully while I hold it up against the window. Once I do that, I'm going to fold my paper again with my design away and I'll trace a different section. And once I get it halfway done, it'll be a whole lot easier. Okay, so I might even actually start with this section, because if I can get these two, then I can trace 2 of them a lot faster. So I'm going to fold it this way. So on this line, I'm going to fold it so my drawing's away. I'm going to put it to the window like that and trace it here. Let me show you what that looks like. All right, so take my design, folding it away, holding it to the window, then using my pencil to trace it. All right, so as you can see, I traced the edge. You'll know you did it right if when you unfold your paper, both designs are on the same side. If one design's on the back side, that means you folded it wrong. Now you notice my tracing's a little wobbly. When you're tracing on a window, sometimes your hand is going to get a little shaky. That's no big deal. Once I finish tracing everything, I can smooth out these lines really easily back at my table. But now that I have these 2 done, what I suggest doing is then taking your marker again and trace over the lines that you drew. Now use this time to smooth out your lines. There we go. So if you traced well, your lines should line up across the folds exactly the same. Now that we've gotten a quarter of our entire page done, it's going to be a whole lot faster because now I can trace 2 sections at a time. So now I'm going to go to the window, I'm going to take it, I'm going to fold this so that way it's behind. I'll use this fold here, I'll fold it so it's behind. I'll put this side to the window and I'll trace these 2 sections. Then once I'm done with that, I can fold the whole thing this way and trace all 4 sections. Now your hand's going to get a little tired. Give yourself some breaks if you need it. All right, so now that I have half of my paper designed, I can just fold it one more time with the design facing away, and I can trace all 4 sections all together, and then I'll come back and show you once it's all done. All right, so you can see that my hands definitely got a lot more shaky that time because I had to hold it up for longer. Take breaks, use a piece of tape if you need to, but this time when I go over it with my marker, I'm going to clean up my lines a little bit, smooth them out, make them look better. There we go. There is my completed design. You see how every section has been traced, gone over in marker, and they all line up on those folds just perfect to make this radial design. This is where we're going to stop for day 2. For day 3, we'll talk about how to color it.